What is something people absolutely need to stop getting offended over? Acknowledging physical characteristics in a non-racist way. For example, let's say you're at a party and there are 20 white people and one black guy. You're chatting to him for a bit, and then he leaves. Later you're talking to someone else and you're like, I was chatting to someone earlier, can't remember his name, he had a yellow shirt on, he was the tall guy with glasses, etc., etc. Just say it was the one black guy. People take these things way too far. Man, at both retail jobs I've worked, I've had my white coworkers bounce around describing a customer as black. Like I can tell they want to say it but they're a bit afraid. And I'm just like, a black guy, right? And they're like, yeah. I get it, but just chill out. Race is a good descriptor for finding someone, won't offend me. Getting offended on other people's behalf just on the assumption that they'd probably be offended. As a Native American, this happens a lot to me. My friend tweeted about his grandma dying and someone got mad at him for not adding a trigger warning. There was a study done that showed that trigger warnings are a net negative to people who've had traumatic experiences. I think the study concluded that trigger warnings reinforce the idea that someone's trauma is a part of their identity. It says that trigger warnings are almost entirely not beneficial to people with traumatic pasts, and that sometimes it can even be harmful. Rejection. Some people just don't seem to understand what a no means. Some people have never been told the word no before. They're in for a rude awakening when reality hits them. When I ask for ID to sell a product, but I work at a bank. It blows my mind how mad people can get that I ask them to verify their identity to access their secured funds. Ugh, my life every damn day. I've been at my branch for 4 years now and I still have people get pissed at me because I ask for ID when they have been coming to this branch for 30 years. Well, okay. I have never seen you before, so that can't be true, and why wouldn't you want someone you have never seen before just handing out your money to anyone that claims to be you? I hate it so much. Third-party people who hear one side of a story assume that's all the facts and not any bias or perceptive distortion nor a misunderstanding, and then go on to attack the other party who is also hurting from what happened between the first two parties. Being wrong. It's okay to be wrong, as long as you're also willing to learn. Cultural appropriation when not done in a mocking manner, especially with food. The people who get mad because a chef modified a dish someone else's grandma made in the old country need to just stop. There's already so much noise in the world, getting mad over food is ridiculous. Using descriptors like black instead of African American. I still get dirty looks from older people if they hear me refer to someone as black. It's also more accurate. I had an NCO in the army who was Haitian, black, but not African, so calling him African American would be inaccurate and insulting, erasing his entire culture. Edit, we aren't talking about someone, like one guy. Nobody called him African American because we all knew he was from Haiti. I'm talking about how American media in general is trying to push that as the default term for black people in America, which does in fact disregard every possible origin for someone of dark skin, which amounts to erasing that culture on the public eye. No shit, he's still Haitian, but we're talking about nationwide race relations. Other people are arguing he probably still has African ancestors, but science has shown literally all of humanity spawned in Africa. The point is that the black people in Haiti have a very different culture than black people in areas of South America, Africa, India, or the Middle East, so African American is an inaccurate and exclusive term. Black is a clear and concise description, and there's nothing wrong with being black, so acting like it is a rude thing to say is problematic in and of itself. I knew someone with white skin from South Africa. She was, by all counts, African. The confusion when she would declare this on paperwork was frustrating to them. Once in Istanbul, we went to an African nightclub. Me and my buddy are Caucasians from Morocco. Morocco is in North Africa, so geopolitically it's African. We literally had to pull out our passports and explain to the bouncer that we're North Africans. He spent a good minute on the phone Googling if Morocco is Africa. We got in eventually. You think you've seen it all, lol. People not smiling. For some reason it bugs the hell out of some people when someone doesn't smile often, to the point where they feel inclined to embarrass them by loudly telling them to smile more. Hope those people never go to Russia. You'll look like a fool if you smile for no reason. I work at Walmart, and I'm not a smiler. It's not so good. But I have noticed that the Russian customers don't find my angry, upset, neutral face upsetting. In fact, they sometimes smile when they see my unsmiling face. I wonder if they think I'm Russian. I'm not, I'm Finnish. When you don't fawn over their kids, i.e., think they're so cute, smart, talented, etc. I hate pictures of kids with food all over their face. As someone in the trans umbrella, accidental misgendering, don't get all up in arms with a stranger calling you miss when you go by he/him pronouns. They don't know, they don't care to know. It's not on purpose. Move on. Honestly, if you politely say to someone, I'd actually prefer if you call me X, they will most commonly be fine with that. There is no need for people to get super confrontational right off the bat with it. Facts. Hard, cold, provable facts. Denying facts was called being either a liar or a delusional back in the day. A difference in opinion. Wow. How could you? Hey, you have no right to say that. People being busy. I don't understand why people give up friendships just because they haven't seen someone in a month or so, or get offended because they took a few hours to respond to a text. Saying Merry Christmas. I don't celebrate Hanukkah, but if a Jewish person said Happy Hanukkah, to me I'd be like, oh sweet yeah bro, Happy Hanukkah. It's literally just a day. Someone is telling you happy day. As a Jewish bus driver, one time I dropped off a Muslim woman at the hospital where she worked. She said to me, Merry Christmas, and I said, Merry Christmas to you too. There was an awkward pause because we clearly didn't mean to say it to each other on purpose. It was just instinctive, but also not worth trying to rectify either. Seriously, it's not a big deal. It's just something funny to think about for me. Exactly. Although there is also the inverse of people getting offended about Happy Holidays. Really, you shouldn't get offended by any holiday greeting. Declining their offer. Years ago my mom, she's gotten much better now, would offer to help with something, and if I said no she'd take it as a personal insult. One time I said I was coming to pick up my things as I was in the process of moving out. She said she can just hold on to them until I find a place. It was pretty clear she wanted to slow the moving process down as much as possible, but I said no thank you. I'd rather have them with me now. The conversation ended with her telling me to go to hell and threatening to throw my property on the lawn in the middle of the night cause I insisted instead of caved. I know a lot of these are trying to shed light on important issues, but the activism you see on Instagram, or really any social media platform for that matter, are getting pretty annoying and downright patronizing. It's like they're not doing it for the activism so much as the likes and comments agreeing with them. Edit, performative activism, is the word for this phenomenon. Setting boundaries with toxic people. It's not vindictive or unforgiving, it's healthy. And if those toxic people are your family, it's totally okay for you to take a step back and say no. Offended by things that hurt no one. Tattoos, bad haircuts, men doing feminine things and vice versa. Such pointless things to be offended by, but people still do it. I simply don't get where some people take the energy to care so deeply about what others are doing from. Seriously, why on earth would I spend time bitching about what this dude over there is doing in the bedroom, when I could do any number of things with it? I just can't really imagine giving a shit about what others are doing with their free time. Pretty much everything. I had the chance to spend some time in West Africa this year. First time I've ever been over there, or anywhere that could rightly be described as third world. I saw people living in dirt huts with rusted tin roofs, kids walking in the streets naked, carrying around dead chickens by their necks. I saw a country where running water is a luxury, and then I came back to the US to a cacophony of, they're trying to make me wear a mask in this air-conditioned store that has everything I could ever want, or, our top-rated engineering department is only 46% women. Really put things in perspective. And I am happy to admit that my life is privileged as fuck. And so is that of everyone I've ever met in America, regardless of race, gender, orientation, or anything else. Other people's choice to stay child-free. But you'll change your mind eventually. Oh well, X didn't want kids and now she's a mother. Who will take care of you when you're older? Why are people so obsessive with it? It's insane. People just don't accept any answer you give. You're a woman and therefore you must want to give birth. I don't like kids. I like to have freedom and money. That's my choice. You like kids? Great for you. Stop forcing it on me. Not answering the phone. I am not contractually forced to answer the goddamn phone each time it rings. Something simple like ringing my bicycle bell. I'm trying to alert you that I'm going so you don't accidentally sidestep and I run into you because of that. I'm not saying, get off the road, you piece of trash. History. Yes, it was likely wrong, but the shit happened in the past, and you can't change it, so get over it and move on. We don't need to hear about how people or society need to apologize for it in modern times, constantly. Move on. Learn from it. Do better. What is something people absolutely need to stop getting offended over? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.